that's where it's mine.
And be with Rhett again. And Rhett, so we've got some of our CRA board members here. We've got a couple of the commissioners here also. And really appreciate you taking the time to show us around and talk to us.
Well, certainly. Well, thank you very much. Now, I'm a chatty Cathy. I've been told going to the beach I need to wear sunblock and my suck on the tongue. But what kind of time frame are y'all on this morning? I could talk about this all day, but what?
I think if we could, if we were 30 to 45 minutes, Rhett, would that does that suit? I think we could. Would that be about enough time for us to see?
That'll be fine. And are y'all going to see the fitness center? Scotty sets are right for this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
They're right over there for whoever wants to go.
They have an excellent facility, and Scotty Sesser does a wonderful job over there as well. So.
Who runs that one? I mean, is that a county?
No, that's probably on by the hospital.
Okay.
And they're a little more. If there's a little difference, they're a little more a fitness center, where we're more of a recreation. But I try to bring us back, or bring us a little bit more toward the middle, to offer some of the things they do. Little things such as towel service, massages. We have that going on back here. We don't have a steam room or a sauna. They do. They have a little more therapeutic work, but they do a wonderful job as well.
So they do rehab and stuff like that there?
Yes, certainly do. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and start our little tour. The restrooms are right around the corner, so if y'all need any, that'll be just go ahead and start. Raise your hand. If you have any questions, please raise your hand too. So we'll go ahead and start. So walk this way.
12 years old. Still looks like 12. Yeah, that's my day. I'll catch up here.
Nice.
I'll point out our tours, things that I like what we have, but there's some things we have changed over the course of several years. Some things that we don't have in place that I wish we had in place that I may suggest when you build your place that you definitely want to think about. One of the things probably, and I'll talk about this a lot through our tour, that we're in the process of. We're working with a consultant for security. This building was built 12 years ago. Obviously, the current problems that we're all facing nationwide didn't exist back then. And the main thing that my concern is with an active shooter, we've developed a risk management plan that would cover bomb threats, weather-related things. We have a plan for that. And active shooters we're working on right now. And as you'll see in our building, walking around, it definitely wasn't designed because there's a lot of glass, a lot of openness. And unlike a school system, we're very exposed because we don't have a conditioned audience. Whereas a school system, you work with the kids, they know what to do. Here we could have, there's no telling, we could have a group of seniors in one location, handicapped individuals in another location, children and so forth. They don't know what to do. So that's something we're a strong thing about. That in mind, there are certain things where I would love to have done differently, considering something like that. For example, the placement of our front desk. And as we come back through here, I'll talk a little bit more about that. But one problem we experience with the location of the front desk is a lot of people will, most people will go just like those people are and go straight to the front desk. But we do have, from time to time, a lot of people just walk right on past, just slip by, I guess. And sometimes it's members that don't want to stop and check in. Sometimes it's somebody will just, we could beat the rat and just go right on by. But also the fact that where they're located, we don't have a lockdown procedure right now. One of the things I suggest is maybe moving the front desk either in that vicinity, put another wall there, and it has a door that we have to be buzzed in actually come in, because we don't have anything like that in place. So,
how many members are here?
We have a little bit over 3,000, about 3,200. Our biggest population are from the seniors. We actually have more silver sneakers, which is a senior program, than we do regular members. So we are the senior population are huge.
So do they pay a membership?
The silver sneakers?
Any of them?
Yes, sir, they do. And we have, we don't segment this versus the rest of the department in terms of revenue. Often we get asked that question, how much revenue does rec center should bring in? I can actually, as far as memberships we do, but as far as the whole department, it's hard to, because we have programs inside and outside as well. Essentially, as a department, we'll bring in, I think the last time was right at well over 600, about 650, I think. But as an annual visitation, we've been averaging right at around 145,000. A couple years ago, we got up to about 149, but we just didn't get over that 150 hump yet. So we're still trying for that.
So with the two things you're about 800.
Well, that was attendance. Attendance. So, and there's some things that we'd like to add. And I'll speak a little bit more about one idea as we get to the aquatic area. Well, this is our spin cycle. This room has been several things over the course of several years, but now it's spin cycle. We just leave it open and people can come in. And classes in spin cycle are reciprocal. They change when it gets nice weather. The cyclists will like to go outside, but when it's really ugly or cold and rainy, they'll come inside. So, but the reality is you don't pop in the room and do that yourself.
Doesn't even smell like a gym. From when I go into the sweat, nasty sweat, no matter what you do.
Yeah, listen, one of the things, go ahead and go down this way.
Functions like a wine.
Yeah, this is the thing that we briefly solved in the family now in the building, that'd be something to highly recommend.
Is that something you did because of just general cultural trends, or have you had specific needs for that here?
Mainly for security, and it really does resolve a lot of fights. Even something that's kind of small, like we may have a 10-year-old that pops a 12-year-old on the back of the head, and that 12-year-old has a different story until we see it on film, and it's okay, now we got it. It makes a little bit irritating sometimes. This is our child care room. Hours on child care can be very, sometimes it can be hard to nail down. Typically, what we found to be the most helpful is have it early in the morning and late in the afternoon. We try to make it ebb and flow. We try to expand it or decrease it from time to time, but for the most part, just keeping it those hours are the best thing to do for us. So that's something that we're going to do. This is a program room that we use. We're going to launch a brand new program called Base Camp Wedding School. There's not a whole lot in here right now, so work in progress. But in essence, what we're going to do, we're having somebody. It used to be our game room. But what we decided is we're having some volunteers that are contractors. They're going to build some things in here. But what we're trying to do with children and adults is teach them how to whitewater raft, fly fish, hiking. We're going to take them on hiking trips. We're basically using all the resources that our part of the state gives us. And we're going to tell you camping trips. Right now they're going snow skiing on Thursday nights. And so there's a lot of things we're trying to do, and that's not a coffin, by the way. When we first got that, it was all great. But anyway, this is something different. We're going to dress this room. This, like I said, I wish you could see it right now, but to make it a little bit more inviting. And it's all about, we have a lot of educational components, things like that Nature Center that offers. So anyway, that's just something different. This has been several rooms too. Again, there's a lot of things that we've changed through the course of the time. You know, whatever the public thinks to be what's hot with them at the time, we had to change it around. Some programs, they'll rise to a certain point and they lose their fizz, and we have change that up a little bit. So.
And how the plaques, Matt was pointing out, everything has a plaque smart, and I take it they pay some compensation to have a plaque up. Is that for sponsor things? Is that yearly, monthly?
That was, well, that was really
When they
right.
building it?
You're right when they built
Oh,
it,
okay.
and it was just a one-time fee.
Oh,
They
right.
just, everybody, they had I think,
Naming opportunities.
yes, sir, I think I gave Fran a list how much it was.
okay.
And it was just a one-time fee, everyone paid. And we'll
Give opportunities for the community to be involved.
Oh, absolutely. And these are what we did down the hallway. These are picked. Oh, this is Tim Petrie. He's we'll be over our base camp Waynesville, and we were just talking about that. Cool.
So I was distracted, is there a monthly membership fee?
Yes, and as we leave, I can give you a copy of our rates. But we have it's funny because people ask me, "Well, how much does it cost to join?" And that's a very difficult question to answer because we really have a smorgasbord of prices based on an X and Y axis. I mean, you can get, it's very diverse. You can get a daily membership, and that depends on the age group, whereas a child or an adult or a senior. You can get a 6-visit pass, 12-visit pass, 1 month, 6 month, quarter, or year, and even a corporate rate. So that's so there's a whole big thing of that, which that's one thing you want to strongly consider. Sometimes people price things a little differently. For example, I went to visit a center in Whitfield, Virginia, not too far from here. I think it was about 3.5 hours. In fact, there were groups just like you guys, so they would come here and they would get some ideas, and they built the center. They did theirs a little differently though, unless they changed it. They based theirs on a gold, silver, bronze membership, and that would give you accessibility depending on what you bought throughout the building. For example, I think bronze only got you in the gym. I believe silver got you also in the weight room, and the gold got you in the pool area. A good friend of mine, Rick Showalter, is the director there. And I'm not quite sure I asked him once because they had their fitness center well guarded. They had a staff person there that would check the memberships. But people did at the guards. I said, well, how do they to contain it pretty well? I said, well, the guards are supposed to ask if they got their gold memberships, but they don't. So therefore, you're worried about who's going where inside the center. And yeah, I'm not sure I'd recommend that. I personally, I think it kind of makes it a little harder on yourself.
I think RYW is like $39 a month.
Do you have arrangements for people who can't afford it?
They, once in a while, we don't have the best thing we have, I guess, to address that. We developed a program here called the Pepsi Park Pals. Did that with John Teeter, and they give us so much money for memberships that we can give away. Most of the time we give that to ARC, the ARC residents, because they, I know it's kind of hard to explain, but they may make so much money on paper, the residents do, but because they have to have so much care, medication and so forth, they really don't have a lot of money left for recreational use of it.
No, don't worry about that.
Silver speakers.
Well, Silver Sneakers goes through Humana,
Yeah.
and it's an insurance program, and they that's for senior citizens.
And kids on lunch programs or something like that?
No, ma'am, we don't have anything addressing specifically that. That's one thing with our rates. Our rates are very competitive, and you'll see as you leave, we try to keep them very low. And the town never really has addressed a lot of pressure on making so much money here. We try to keep it very affordable.
Does it break even or do you subsidize every year?
Is right now our payments are at I think $360. They should be paid off in 2018. So we right now we're not quite breaking even, but we should get pretty close.
Right, then you pay off the debt service. You're really
Then we make some more money, do some other things or other toys.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and walk this way. This something what you're about to see. It may not look something real interesting when you walk in, but I highly recommend you guys definitely put this in place. Very simply, it's a multi-purpose room. It's actually two rooms application, that you can draw together. And as a whole, this will seat about 130 people. And but I would highly recommend put as many as you can things like this in place. We even had exercise classes in here. They don't like it because it's not a suspended floor, so it's a little harder floor to use. But we've had lunches. Businesses will rent this room. We'll have birthday parties in here. Birthday parties are a really big thing. I'd pay really close attention to that one. We have the room is you can rent this room. It's a little less than that room because that room has a kitchen as well. We'll see this in a second. Or you can rent the whole thing together. But we get a lot of revenue off birthday parties. We put TVs in here where they can also watch cartoons or movies or whatnot. Our summer camp is also based out of here. So I'm glad you are seeing it right now because it can take a beating when summer camp gets here. Especially if you don't want to put carpet in this room either. So we did have carpet in there and it got slapped pretty hard. So.
How many people work here?
We have on staff, it depends on the season. The summer season is the busiest. But I say during the summer we'll have as many as around 75 to 80.
And are they county employees then, or are they?
Got the town of Lanesley.
Okay.
And we have, as far as full-time, we have 17 full-time counting myself, one permanent part-time, and the rest are part-time.
And like the teachers that teach the fitness classes, are they contract workers, or are they?
It is part-time. We don't have any contract workers. And, actually, we do. Our massage therapist is contract, and we'll see that room in just a second. So, any other questions in here? Or I know it's kind of a blank room, but I would just really stress this is something you definitely. The more of these, the better. It gives you a lot of things that you can also put in, especially programs that spill over. So we just walk this one. Storage is a big thing. Right now we don't have that. That room is not that big as that room, but due to all of our programs and supplies and things like that, we are really running out of space.
Wow, big kitchen.
You see a lot of open space, and it's, I'm not quite sure on how much.
Because if you had a brownie treat baking cookies, this is an exercise. Yeah.
But a lot of times, like the people renting it for, most of the time, birthday parties, they don't use this. They'll just bring pizza in or something like that. But once in a while, like we have or somebody doing a barbecue, or Kiwanis making it, have a barbecue and sell it. And, that's a good thing. One thing I want to do is put a barbecue pit right outside so they can actually smoke and do our barbecue there. And consequently, too, I have to throw this in here. I'm a big barbecue person. I love that. But anyway, whenever we have barbecue, it makes the whole place smell like barbecue. You wouldn't believe the people that when they come in. I don't know if it draws more people or not, but they'll come in talking about the barbecue because you can smell it all over the place. So anyway, that's always a good thing. But anyway, we can go ahead and walk out that door right now.
Yeah.
I bought the one. Oh, thank you very much. I bought the one too. Whoever came up with the idea of perfume, if somebody would really want to make a lot of money, or get things like Chanel and stuff, you get the barbecue scented perfume. That's going to be the best contracting event in the world.
Better football sweat. Pro football sweat for college basketball sweat.
This is one of our casino. This is our road trip. I wish I could show you all this right now, but that's our, I believe our silver sneaker program is going on right now. Our road trip is what we found. We've already hit capacity on this. It only holds about, I think, right at about 35. For your road trip, make sure you have I would go with a bigger room than this. We've already got this program throughout the entire day. And we've already, actually there have been several times where we've actually controlled the size of the class that we've had to cut it off. And people, the first 35 could come in and only take the class, which usually they would somehow end up packing it in there anyway and they're not supposed to. But anyway, that's been very popular there. is our weight room. This is one of the issues we've had since we opened. And you'll see more equipment in just a little bit. But when we first opened, the plan was, this was the exercise room. Well, aside from that, this was our weight room and cardio room. And right now we just have free weights. Actually, all the weight machines and cardio equipment we'll see in just a few minutes is upstairs. So one thing I would do is recommend it is when you have your weight room, make a really, really large room for a large amount of cardio, have it all in one location. That's one downside we have, is that somebody can go here to free weights, and they got to go up there to do the weight machines and or cardio.
Do you have any, so there's no treadmills or ellipticals in there?
Not in here. We'll see them in just a minute, but they're upstairs. Here are racquetball courts. Racquetball, the good thing and bad thing about it is that good thing is very, very consistently used for, let's say, maybe around lunchtime or when it is used, it's used by people that will very, very consistently visit on a day-by-day basis. However, though, it's either all or none. And we even try to do exercise classes in there, and it's hard to do because there's an echo. But they'll also play a sport called volleyball, which they sticking that up, and it's kind of a combination of volleyball and racquetball.
Here's Joe.
And we can go ahead and walk this way.
So did I understand you to say
think racquetball kind of
these
hit
rooms are
Zenith
not used as much as
ago.
Racquetball, it's
shoulder injuries.
I would like to use a lot more because if you think about it, the amount of space it takes, and then and like I said, the fact it's so vacant, I'd say probably maybe 75% of the day there is just like you just saw it. But the other 25% is very, very consistently used every day. Would I ever change that? No, because right now, because of the racquetball, people would go crazy. But
So how many people on an average come every day?
let's see, I'd say probably Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are our busiest days. I'd say probably we're doing well if we hit during the year between about 4 to 450 a day. I used to have a good friend of mine that worked, that was with the YMCA system, John Micah, so I don't know if y'all knew him or not. But I knew that, like, for example, downtown Y, I think they get 1,000 a day. So, and I know our staff here gets real excited, or they like, oh my goodness, we were just slammed. We had 500 people here, and this thing, gosh, downtown Y was absolutely just slammed too. So, but usually it's, if we hit around 500 or so, it's a busy day. Now, there are days, though, for example, if you were to come here this Saturday, youth basketball will be going on in the gym in there. The parking lot will be pretty full. Days like that, I would say probably go over 1,000.
And what's the population of Waynesville?
The town of Waynesville is right at about 10,000. If you throw in the county, it's about 60,000. I know David had mentioned, or we were talking about just a few minutes ago about differential rates. When the place was built, just to give you the long short of it, there's a little bit more information to this. But the bottom line, though, is that the county said, look, instead of charging differential rates, we'll give you guys, I think it was $75,000 a year, not to do that, to go toward recreation. And they did that. I came here in 2006. In 2009, when the recession hit, they said, okay, I'm sorry, we can't do that. We just can't give you what we don't have. So the ball was on our court, and the town decided not to go with differential rates. And basically, with our economy over here, I'm not sure what all the reasons were, but they decided not to do differential rates, and that's what we stand today. Now, consequently, though, our memberships, we produce a monthly report, and just about every month will indicate we have a breakdown of male and female and a resident, non-resident. About 3/4 of our members here are non-resident and live outside the town limits. So, you know, like I said, we probably could be bringing a lot more money. Maybe. Then again, I don't know. It's a hard decision to make because a lot of people, like I said, were feeling the effects of the recession. And initially, our theory was that we actually saw a little rise when the recession hit because, and we're thinking that a lot of people maybe just were saying we can't go to Myrtle Beach or we can't do this or that for recreation. We're going to spend it here. well, as the recession lingered, then we all of a sudden, we just dropped like falling off a cliff because everything just said, okay, we can't do anything now. Recreation dollars usually on the kitchen table are going to be one of the first things the family may yank off, so, you know, we'll go with that.
This is Commissioner Joe Belcher, the
Thank you, Red Lakes, it's a pleasure. We'll go ahead and we'll go upstairs now. So we're actually going to the camera. We'll go.
How you doing, buddy?
Grandson was here last week.
I was going to ask if you have a lot of folks from Asheville.
We do. We have some from memberships, but as far as during the summertime especially, we'll have a lot of groups, YWCA, YMCA, Jackson County Parks and Rec, other parks and recreations, summer camps. We'll come over here and we have an indoor pool and mostly come in and play. And as we'll see just in a minute, if I had to pick a jewel of the center, will be the pool area. And if there was a jewel of the jewel, is the water park. So in essence, when the pool is down, if the pool is down, hopefully it isn't, then you can see a huge drop off in that day's attendance. And there's an idea I want to put in, which I want to share with y'all, but anyway, but I would highly recommend if you could do this, but I'll say that till we get over there. That's my son. I exploit him awful lot. He's 9th and 7th grade, but he's in just about every one of these pictures. He has no, the former town manager, Lee Galloway, used to make fun of me or laugh at me and say, gosh, yeah, Rebel will exploit his own son for marketing. So because, guilty.
How you doing today? Yeah, I'm good. Nice.
So this really functions like the YMCA or YWCA?
For the most part, yes, it does. I used to be, when we lived over in Asheville for all 14 years over there, I was running the downtown line, and it does. Like I said, the fitness center, I feel like it's with us in the fitness center, I guess that's our primary competitor, but we still do a great, our mission is a little bit different, where we're more on the recreation center, the fitness center. But I mean that, like such as rehab or therapy or hot tubs or jacuzzis or saunas, but we try to bring ourselves a little bit more toward the middle with something. We'd love to get a sauna and jacuzzi sometime soon. I'd recommend that too. We've got a lot of requests for that. Hot tub, sauna, anything like that. Gym, I would definitely go with this. Go with a 2-gym format with a divider in the middle. Sometimes we'll pull the curtain. I wouldn't go with the 1 gym because this gives us a great amount of programming space, such as, for example, we could have, quite often, we have a group of 20 or so people that will come in, or the Patels, I know they come in quite often for volleyball, and we'll set the volleyball net up on the other side, and then with the addition, you still play basketball. So it gives you the opportunity to games, like I said, basketball going on here this Saturday, and the gym will be absolutely packed with kids all day long. We have adult basketball to do, we have adult volleyball leagues. It gives you a lot more opportunities to do different things. So I would definitely do a 2-gym format. We don't have to play this way. Sometimes we put the goals down on the end, and we'll go to play.
Let's go around the whole building.
It goes all the way over there. We'll go there.
Adult basketball leagues or anything in the county that are playing here.
We have adult basketball now. The youth basketball is actually ran by Haywood County Parks and Recreation. They rent the gym time from us, and so that's it's a little bit easier for us. But anyway, that's they do it.
Waynesville Parks and Rec.
Yes, there's a Haywood County Parks and Rec and Waynesville Parks and Recreation. But we'll have a volleyball league. our summer camp will come here and play a lot. But the reason why too is I'd highly recommend doing 2 courts. Like I said, it's you can still service your members, but also if you need it for program space, like we bring our summer camp in here and play games if it's raining that day. But at the same time, we're not tying up the whole space for members too. They can go in and sometimes we use for classes, although it's not very conducive for a lot of classes because there's an echo in here too. Sometimes like you sit and Zoom with people and the Zoom is like jack up the track and then the people on the track get mad or it's because it's too noisy. So everybody's got their own little things, especially the people that like certain things and often they don't get along too well. I was always worried about, we just built the skate park and I was always worried about it with the dog park folks and the skate park folks. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a stuff, but they'll get along with that.
Camera helps you mediate the blows. Sort out.
We'll go ahead. I know y'all are on the time scale.
How old are you?
Oh, yeah.
One's small, you're one that's working for each day.
No, they live in
No, my daughter says working for student anymore.
Now, the grandchildren are going to make you take moves together and take a share.
No, they're going to come to us.
There's some areas no, that's I thought. Tell you what, after
So there's not a place.
So where did she say that the civic group started?
They have to, get the schools are available. It's probably.
Yeah, I'll do that real quick. All right. One thing, the one that we put up here, just somewhat new, and I highly recommend this as well. We have new cardio equipment, and if you notice, everything's really quiet. On the cardio equipment, they each have a TV, and I'm the TV watcher while I work out. But anyway, you bring your earphones, and we don't have TVs outside that's making a lot more music or anything, but you plug in your own earphones and watch whatever channel you want to watch. So we'll walk down this way, and I'll show you the other side.
I'm blocking up the road here.
What's up, Jerry?
Hey, man. How are you? Getting to see you quite often, huh?
Well, you're on the wrong side of the story.
This is cool stuff. This is our park for treadmill on this side. And walking tracks at 10 for the mile. And there's divided walking and jogging.
Now, would you have extended the walking trail into this whole area? Is that apples and oranges?
Smell and everything. And speaking of, I want to point that out to y'all too. It's a little boring, but it's something that's pretty important. I think for this little pool. But we'll go ahead and go down this way. We're on the back side.
steps to Brett.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry, you can't go in here. Don't do it. I know you're thinking about it.
You'd be surprised. I gotta tell this story. I gotta tell this real quick. This is I gotta get it there. I mean, I'm sure Fran, we all can talk about different things out in the public, but one day the locker rooms go through actually the other side, and it comes all through the back. But sometimes we'll tell our staff to kind of walk around, check, make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, that kind of thing. Anyway, I was going through the locker room, and right through there, well, just on the other side of the wall, we had showers, and there was a gentleman there drying off in the drying off area. And through that door, as I was coming this way, there was a senior lady that was kind of coming, she was coming around the corner. The gentleman was drying off, and I said, ma'am, I said, oh, you're going on. I just thought she was confused. And she looked like, oh, okay. And she just kind of casually turned and walked out, and I thought, she knew what she was doing. It's like, that lady was, she was taking on that man, dude. I thought.
Well, this one, how you doing today, Joe? Yeah, I'm good. Oh, wait, no, you won't be sitting in the corner. Whoever's sitting in the corner comes to the back. There's a seat for it. I'll be sitting on the counter.
it can be expensive as well, because we utilize one bulb, and that bulb is about $800. And we have to change that out once a year. Needless to say, I don't want to be the one doing it. That's a huge office. But anyway, to give you long and short of it, I'm sure I've watched a lot of media, much more detailed explanation. But there's UV light, water passes through, removes the chlorines, and so therefore in the pool area you have a much better air quality. In the indoor pool world, I would personally call it the Cadillac of apparatus for the air quality for indoor pools. That's a good point to think about. In fact, we can kick around. We got ourselves. We don't have one. But that was something else that we use. But anyway, as far as the air quality, and we had a lot of problems until we put in the second one, got one, and the there's one. But we have some problems with it. Now then, come in here after swimming or after we've been running the toys all day, sure you're going to go before. That's kind of the more you turn the water up, the stronger you're going to smell. But for the most part, if you go back in there, you're not going to.
I didn't notice it coming in. How do you deal with the humidity in the internet? Do you have something that keeps the humidity level down?
That's a good question. We have a Nectron unit that was actually upstairs. I could have shown you all this, but I think you could walk around it. But it was right in the center of all the cardio equipment upstairs. Its primary purpose is to keep the air and the water temperature within 2 degrees of each other. It's kind of like a big dehumidifier, essentially. Now we're not even using that to keep the pool water. We're just using boilers, and that's it. But it is on up there, it circulates the air. The reason why I said we don't use that, it's more people's rubs to run natural gas to heat the water. It can be, has some high operational costs. For example, it's got a series of copper coils. I think is back that it has to pass through. Over the years, for about 10 years, due to chlorine, the corrosion ate away from the copper. We had to end up buying a new copper wall to put in that a few years ago. And it was right at $35,000. That's the thing flowing in mechanical. So we just use boilers now to heat the water. We have a fan that we use once in a while. We turn on and suck in air from the outside and suck it double way. But that's what we do for the water. That
talking to you, John.
This is our meeting room, and that, you know. Yeah.
Brett, if you wanted to, maybe if there were a few more questions, or if you had something, I know you said there was one thing you wanted to say.
There was, well, this is our, in case, I know I think I gave y'all some last time, but that's our February program guide, and we produced an annual guide. And that's our rate sheet and our membership application, if you'd like to select any of those. This is some of the, we post our goals of what we want to do each fiscal year and calendar year. They're at the top, and I was going to show you, give you an indication for our attendance. Our overall goal in 2014 is 143,700, and that kind of gives you a breakdown per month, or at least what our goals are. Attendance here, and then below that is for department. One thing, in looking at the pool park, which we can bring in here, they're all portable. We have several. I don't know how many we have in the gym. We usually keep 1 or 2 in the pool area, but for swim meets we'll bring in more.
So is the skate park part of this whole complex?
If you go out, if you turn left, as you go around the corner, you'll see, and the skate park's new, it just opened this September. You'll see it right there on your right.
So do you store these bleachers somewhere in the wintertime?
No, ma'am. Actually, what we did, we had a lot of, the ones at the skate park we would keep actually behind the building, and we decided we needed seating there at the skate park, so we decided to put the bleachers there, but if we ever need them for downtown events or something, we just...
So seating capacity for how many?
Oh goodness, I know we never have actually came up with the number on that, so I couldn't tell you. I know that the pool areas, when we have swim meets, this is very, very packed in there, and bleachers all around. But deck spaces would be very critical. I'd make sure you have a lot amount of deck space everywhere. And again, I would, looking at, if you have a large pool plus a, like I said, some kind of water park, like I said, that water park is so important to us if it's, especially during the summertime for camps and other school groups coming in. Sometimes our schools will bring children over and they'll play on that. And during the school year, like they give them a day off, or we'll do a swim lesson program with them sometime. We use that as well. And that's why I thought if we ever could do a spray ground right outside and attach it to that, fence it in where it's really all a part of that, because we get a lot of requests for deck or some type of deck space for people to lay out, which we don't have. But the biggest things I would take away from your visit here today is, one, the UV system. I think that's very critical. Your design of the pool, and also, if you, I don't know if you noticed, but we have a lot of glass in a lot of our classes, which again, 12 years ago they didn't think about it. But I would definitely design this with a lot of security in mind. We don't want to do that, but unfortunately that's where we are today.
If you get a chance, a few of us went to the Kingsport Aquatic Center, and you should go see it, because they had that outside. That outside function that you're talking about. But as far as bleachers, what they did in theirs, it's like on each side of the pool, where like on one side of your pool you have the people up there on the treadmills and the glass up there. Well, they had, you could imagine that going back in at the top where those treadmills were, well, they had figured out a way to, on the outside wall, to put bleachers and light, and then under the bleachers was where people were, like the locker rooms and bathrooms for the pool itself, and a little small concession. Wasn't just on one side of the pool, went under it, lockers, concession, exit, and then stairs and a way to get up to the aluminum.
Oh, I bet that is really nice.
It's perfect. It's the design is amazing, and it's just like, and it's easily, it's very doable in any size pool. I mean, you just program that stuff underneath and bleachers up top, and they leave the bleachers there. So you know, if parents could go up there and watch your kids, or you can have it in an event.
Yeah, but that is really nice.
What are we looking at? That's pretty.
The bottom part is for the entire department, our revenue goals for each month. We had a really good January. Again, there's not a great deal of pressure on how much we're bringing in. We're trying to, because our prices are very competitive, and
They are really competitive.
we don't charge a great deal. Now, the one thing from a marketing standpoint, something to keep in mind is that one thing, a YMCA, for example, you join, there's a bank draft, and usually there's a joiner's fee attached. Now, we have a heavy Florida population that comes in usually from May until about September, or usually November. You hear a lot from them, say, wow, can't believe you guys don't have a joiner's fee. We don't have a joiner's fee, because it'd be kind of tough to incorporate that with doing this type of structure. Now, from a marketing standpoint, that creates a disadvantage, because most marketing campaigns or any kind of events you may do will say, okay, join in January, waive the joiner's fee, or do this, and you can monkey around with that. You don't want to monkey around with your rates a lot. Usually, from that standpoint, our biggest tool we use are passes, and I give that out like candy. I mean, so it's like if I hear somebody out at lunch, like, I sure like to work out. Hey, you go, here's a pass.
Right.
But anyway, that's a neat thing to use. However, based on accessibility and sometimes reaching various markets, I think this has a lot of advantages to that. We get a lot of revenue off of daily admissions.
Yeah, I like your 6 visit, 12 visit cards, because, like, my grandson's going, so, we don't necessarily want to join, but we get a 6 visit, 12 visit card.
I mean, $31 a month is ridiculously low.
Yeah, it's half the
Yeah.
YMCA over in, actually.
The YW, I think, is at 39 now.
Family is $60.
So where did I hear you say earlier that this you're not yet self-supporting?
No, I'm not quite.
Yeah.
We're getting pretty close. In 2018, we'll have it paid off. Of course, that'll get us a lot closer, but we're not quite there yet. And one thing too to think about at Buncombe County, I know you have 5 outdoor pools. I think it's 5 we have. Y'all can always too draw in a lot of things, like if you join, if you want to say, okay, join our place, the new place over there, you get in the pools for free, or there's a lot of things you can do, a lot of different ideas you can come up with.
I think what you were saying before, Rhett, was that you're close to the point of wanting or needing to change out some of your toys that are in the splash area, and some things like that. So that may be, there's the continuation of, you've got 14 years now here. So, and I got to tell you,
Yeah.
I just want to say again to you, your facility is immaculately
Yeah,
clean.
it
It
really
really
is.
is. And
Incredible.
I hope you're very proud of what your staff does.
Well,
That's
thank you.
incredible.
We really try to stick on that. So, thank you for saying that.
If you told me it was 2 years old, I'd
Yeah.
believe you on that too. I really
Yeah.
would.
That's
Thank
incredible.
you very
Yeah.
much. But yeah, I would say, and we didn't talk about too. I know that, for example, Royal Y has a big dragon head that they blow up sometimes in the pool area and let children slide down it. And that's for marketing reasons. Again, that's something that'd be a lot of fun to do. We thought of doing something like that, or just give something a different flavor, something new to add. Because it's like I said, we've had the same toys since we've been open, and we've had to replace a few buckets here and there, things like that. But things tear up.
That was called your bucket list.
Really, the bucket list. That's true, but that's. And also, we've got a bigger slide, but I don't know, that may be as high as we can go based on the depth of the landing area. But I was, maybe suggest like even to have that size, and maybe one a little bit bigger, if you have some deeper in. We have problems with kids wanting to go down head first, or adults wanting to catch them, or things like that, but that's to be expected.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
You had suggested maybe we go by Midwest and see their therapeutic pool.
Yes, they have at Midwest they have one gym, really nice weight room, steam room, saunas. They have a nice pool. Like I said, they do a wonderful job there too. Very, very nice. It's just they probably have forest therapy, things like that, more than we have. I would take you back to the massage room, but there's probably somebody back there right now. So
How much massage business do you have here?
A lot. The lady we have here, she does averages probably 5 a day, and she does, and she's really good. We even had, and I mentioned before, we were having to sometimes squeeze in or make do or change things. For example, this was really set up to be a receptionist as you come in, but we made her office back there, made this, the massage room used to be our meeting room. Now that's the massage room. So actually, that's in our hallway. So therefore, because you have to be a little quiet, we came up with a system that she'll turn the light off in the hallway, and when the light's off, you're supposed to be quiet when you're going down the hallway. Most of the time it works. But anyway.
So if any of y'all would like to go to Midwest, talk to Scotty or Sean will be there, one of their directors will be there. If you'd like to go, and if not, maybe there's a car that wants to go back. I don't know, whatever the pleasure of the group is.
I feel like you might as well go since we're here.
Where is it? It's off the main road? Is it at the Midwest?
How to get, it's in the hospital, isn't it?
It's right, if you're going toward the hospital, it's, well, if y'all know where Tuscola Hospital is.
If we go out of your parking lot.
I know where it is.
Yeah, tell us.
I know where it is.
Can we follow you?
Yeah.
That's probably easy to follow somebody. It's just, you turn in the hospital and you'll see the hospital dead ahead, it'll be on your left.
You did? Okay, and that's the entrance to the fitness area?
Yeah, it's kind of on the hill.
Beside the spine center, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
The spine center, isn't it on the left there?
Well, as you turn into the hospital, you'll see a gigantic Midwest sign. I mean, huge. It's
See it from the
bigger
road.
than this room. But then as you turn in there, you'll see the hospital almost straight ahead. To the left, you'll see the fitness center.
Now, this is
that's where
actually
back.